The Matrix is real. The internet is trying to kill you. Read a book. These are my top 5 disturbing books. Ba, ba, ba! I love Audible. That's not just some corporate bullshit. I love Audible. I've used it forever because I love it when people read me stories, especially if those stories have monsters and guts in them. Yeah. Number 5, Portnoys Complaint. Haha, this one's really hard to talk about. Basically, Portnoys Complaint is the idea that any moral compass you may have is immediately ruined by sexual impulse. I get it. Your problem is your morality. If you didn't have okay. So Portnoy's Complaint is described as a syndrome that's based around morality and sexuality. The idea is that as a kid, you are given morals by either your parents or religion or what have you, and as you grow older, those morals are challenged by your desire to bone. So that desire to bone clouds your morality, and you end up feeling deep, deep shame and guilt, even though sexuality, as we all know, is nothing to be ashamed of. But because you were laced with, sounds like you were roofied by morality growing up. But because you were taught these strict moral guidelines as a child, that constricts you growing up, and then you end up lashing out by, like, I don't know, masturbating in public or grabbing people's boobs that don't want to be grabbed. Alexander Portnoy felt deep moral shame because of his Jewish upbringing. As he grew into an adult, those morals were challenged by his desire and need to express himself sexually. To bone! I, like Alexander Portnoy, grew up Jewish, but as we all know, I am down with Satan. That's not to say that I reject my Jewish values, but I would go for a sigil ceremony over synagogue any day of the week. Oh wow. Yeah, now I feel bad. I gotta go masturbate on a train now. Number 4, Slapstick. Are you sad? Are you angry? Do you like kind of gross sexual things? Kurt Vonnegut is for you. Also war, but we'll just go past that. Slapstick is my favorite Kurt Vonnegut book of all time. It's about the unusually close relationship between 2 very wealthy siblings. Both siblings are heinous to look at, and I'm not talking about like Uggo stuff, real monster shit. But Wilbur went on to become a successful politician, whereas Eliza was quarantined to a mansion on top of a mountain so people didn't have to look at her. I love the dichotomy between genders. Despite them leading very separate and different lives, Wilbur goes on to fight for her rights as a lonely, ugly person and writes a bill called Lonesome No More, which says, hey, just because you look like a monster doesn't mean that you don't have the right to love, which seems self-explanatory, but I guess in this world it's not. Also in the world we live in, kind of. We're all pretty ugly. Have you seen the inside of a human? Gross. A lot happens in this book and a lot that I can't go into, like the collapse of Western civilization, some casual incest, but that's whatever, right guys? Because it's about love. Something that I find really special about this book is that he wrote it as a postmortem to his sister that he had a very, very close relationship with, and we very rarely get to see Kurt Vonnegut be vulnerable, and this is one of those times. But also there's monster sex in it, so. Number 3, the Bible. Y'all wanna hear some dark shit? Read the goddamn Bible. It is so metal. I mean, the death. So much death. So much blood. So much fucking daughters. Cut that out. Hey, please don't yell at me in the comments. We're just having fun here. And you read the Bible, God kills somebody with a giant wave. Cowabunga. Number 2, Deviant. Yes, Ed Gein, yes. Y'all know I love Ed Gein. Y'all know I love Ed Gein. Deviant is the true story of Ed Gein, arguably the most referenced killer of all time. Oh, you like Psycho? Cool, that's Ed Gein. You like Texas Chainsaw Massacre? Ed Gein, Buffalo Bill in Silence of the Lambs? Yeah. That's Ed Gein. Ed Gein grew up in a small farm town in Minnesota. By all accounts, he was mild-mannered and polite, although he had a very unnatural dependency on his mother, but that's mainly because she would not let him leave the house. Here's a funny story about Ed Gein and his mom. Ed Gein went to the store one day and a woman was standing on her front porch and she was like, "Oh, hey, Ed." And he was like, "Oh, hey," and then went home. His mother saw him speaking to that woman, went back to her house later that day and beat the shit out of her for speaking to her son. Also, she was a huge woman, like a brawn. She used to have him sit on her lap while she yelled Bible verses at him. So he had a hard time. Ed Gein lived with his mother until he was 40, and the only reason he stopped living with her is because she died. After that, he tried to dig up her body and somehow failed. Even though he failed, that ignited his, wait for it, deviancy. Name of the book, she said the name of the book in the thing, at the book, the name of the book. He went on to become a grave robber, but he wasn't just robbing for jewelry, he was robbing for women's nipples. Screaming nipples is fun. And other parts of the body, but mainly nips. Ouchie. He went on to upholster his entire home with the skin and body parts of dead women. The thing I love about this book is that it's not sensationalist. It doesn't treat Ed Gein as some sort of monster. It shows him as a deeply misunderstood person who, through some love and support, probably could have been helped. See, what I talked about before, if you repress yourself, you'll end up lashing out in an even more extreme way. That's why I lean into my love of fried chicken. If I pushed that down, then I'd end up making a vest out of chicken giblets. Number 1, Stranger in a Strange Land. Oh my God! This is my favorite book of all time. This has been my favorite book since I was, I don't know, 12? I do know, it was 12. Stranger to Strange Land was originally released in 1964 by author Robert Heinlein, but was promptly taken off the shelves because guess what? Too much cool shit in it. If you think eating people and public sex and orgies are cool, which I know you do, then you'll agree with me. After his death, his wife fought for the book to be released in its entirety, and now, in 2017, you can buy that book. It's long, but trust me, oh, is it worth it. Stranger to Strange Land is about astronauts who crashed onto Mars. 2 people survived. They, boinked, made a baby, and then they died, left that baby on Mars, and guess what? That baby, Michael Valentine, was raised by Martians. Years later, more astronauts come to Mars and find Michael Valentine, and they're like, holy shit, a fucking Martian. They put him in their ship, and they go back to, I almost said America.
Well, did they go back to America?
Well, they went to America, but I meant the Earth.
Right.
And the entire book is about him learning about humanity through a series of, I would say, unfortunate events. The government steals him, number 1, which, as we all know,
the government hates you!
They put him in this government facility, and this nurse takes pity on him. So she steals him, like you do with any sort of Martian. If I saw a Martian, I would take it. I don't want to give too much away, but the story is about Michael Valentine, the Martian, finding humanity. You see your society that you live in every day through the eyes of somebody who has never ever experienced it. Love, manipulation, sex. In summation, you should read this book because it means so much to me. If you care about anything, if you care about me at all, you'll read this book. It changed me completely, spiritually, and also physically, because I got really fat, because I read all the time and I didn't go outside. If you like sex, murder, monsters, the consequences of repression, nipples. Those are all pretty great reasons to read these books, but if you don't want to read them, guess what? You don't have to. You can listen to them. If you follow the Audible link in the description and use our code, you will get 30 free days and 1 free book. I suggest Stranger in a Strange Land. Duh. I love you. Thank you guys so much for watching. If you enjoyed this video, give it a thumbs up. Let me know what books you're reading or listening to in the comments. Subscribe to Snarled, watch our other videos, or read a book. Those are your 2 options. You either gotta watch our videos or read a book, or go to sleep, or eat. There's a lot of options.
Great.
Okay. Okay.